What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be spectating random players in Fortnite Zero Build, going over what I think they do well, what they could do differently, and just the state of the game right now. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. If you guys would like to use my creator code in the item shop, it is EvolveJake, and it is underneath the webcam at all times. And let me know down in the comments below what you think of this season thus far, because we're about 3 weeks in as of the time I'm uploading this video. We've had several updates. We've had several items added to the game. Overall, I think this season is incredibly good. And if it kind of keeps up throughout the remainder of it, which isn't very long, it ends in the first week of August. But if it keeps up for this amount, or like to this quality for the remainder of it, I think this could definitely go down as one of the best seasons that we've had in a few years. For me, at least, probably the best since like Chapter 4 Season 2. Maybe even rivaling that. I really have enjoyed this season thus far. There's so much mobility in the game. I think the hero system is really nice. I enjoy the map. I enjoy the medallions. The loot pool in general is good. Like, I feel like this season just does a lot well. And for me, at least personally, there's not that one just like really frustrating item like that we've had for most of Chapter 6. I know the Storm Beast pom-poms will be that for a lot of people. But for me personally, I don't dislike playing against them as much as the Typhoon Blade or the Kneecapper Bat. I went down there so that this player would be safe before eliminating me, because when making these videos, if I die to someone that gets eliminated before I'm actually spectating them, it makes me spectate somebody across the map. So that's why I went under there and hid, because this area is kind of like a 50-50 spot. But I think what that player did was kind of smart. He landed first and got like a gun over here, and then just chilled, and then I think somebody else went for this rare chest, and he was able to like eliminate them for free, and then now he has top control of this POI. And I am an absolute hater of this POI. It is very large, it is very vertical, the boss takes a while to defeat, but if you do defeat him, I think the Mythic Spire AR is incredibly good, and the Medallion I also think is very good. One of the main problems though is just like with how vertical and how large the POI is, there's so many locations for people to hide. And then also you often will get third-partied from several other areas, especially with the Robin Grappler being nearby, which is something a lot of people grab. So if I was going to come here, I would want to play somewhat like how this player is playing. You want to play more to kind of clear the POI, because there's going to be people that land here, and there's going to be people that third-party it, guaranteed. And if you're just trying to rush the boss down, you're making yourself an easy target for them. This isn't a boss that you can just quickly rush down and kind of dip out. It takes a while to defeat. And so I think it's much more important to just kind of play for elims and play for control, and then go from there. Having a scanner is so helpful in this POI. And speaking of playing for control, instead of focusing the boss, she's dealing with the third party and, you know, sneaks up and gets timing on him. I believe these mist gloves actually eliminate the boss very quickly, but I haven't personally really used that. But so far, I like how this person has played. It's kind of like ratty and slow, but I think that this is a POI where you really kind of have to play at the pace of the game like that. That's why I'm not a fan of it personally, and I would much rather just land somewhere else and like third party and clean it up, or just deal with the medallion player later on. But I do like having this medallion in AR. Scanner is also incredibly high value here because of like the things I was talking about. Unfortunately, doesn't get a scanner there. He gets mist gloves. It's base boost gloves. Please take them. Okay, thank you. It makes me so disappointed when making these videos so people just like ignore mobility or like, you know, key items. He's so more worried about other players than the boss. Oh, now somebody's pulling up with Robin Grappler. And so this could be like a potential mistake this player made. We'll see if it works out. But obviously, as I was saying, you want to play more for control than eliminate the boss, but like also eliminating the boss when you can is also nice. And this player has had a good amount of alone time. I don't know if the mist gloves melt the boss so quickly that it would have worked out. Oh, that person is another streamer. So I'm recording this the day they gave us the Squid Game skins early. I think I'm posting it on Saturday. So this person he's fighting is another streamer and another very good player. And unfortunately, they're not able to get the kill there. This person is weak though. They almost get it. The fact that both players had auto shotguns there was so awkward. But this is kind of like what I was saying about somebody's going to pull up with the Robin Grappler, and that person is usually going to be a threat. And I think the initial cami we were spectating was kind of playing to bait the boss to get the Grappler. Because as soon as they saw this player grappling in, they were like very fixated on it. Gets kills revolvers. Nice. I would like for a new shotgun to be here for this person, but it doesn't seem like there is one. Like in terms of just like a different one. Still no scanner either. He's going to use the mist gloves here. And so it hits all the masks at once, and it makes it very quickly to kind of stun him into this down form. And then also you're not using a weapon that really uses ammo, so all your guns are loaded if like an actual fight does happen and a third party does happen. Like using those mist gloves on the boss like this is very nice. Luckily there was some there, but I think also just having a scanner there would have been very good. Like I would like to have both coming here. Unfortunately, we can't see the boss's health. I'm interested to see if he's going to take the AR or take the pistols. Because I think... Okay. I was going to say, I think the pistols are very good. But they're kind of a bit... I wouldn't necessarily say inconsistent than the rifle. But like the playstyle that the revolvers want, I think is more like risky than the AR. I feel like the AR is a more like consistent, safe option. So I was curious to see which one they were going to take. I think both can be good. That's what I was saying. I just think the AR is a bit more reliable, consistent. Nice, he gets a blue pump. Surprised he's not going island. I wonder if there's a crate over here he's gonna open. I'm like sad that Spectator doesn't show us the hero rank of the player we're spectating, because the hero ranks are like a very big part of the game. With the A crates, you have a chance to get mythic base boost gloves. The A and S tier crates both have a chance to get mythic base boost gloves. Okay, he's gonna open this. That's why he was coming over here. Unfortunately, he doesn't get it. He gets the mist cape. So you have either a chance for the mythic base boost gloves or the mist cape out of the A and S tier crates. And I believe the A tier crates drop the cube surf in addition to either the mist form or the gauntlet. So the A crates actually give you double mobility now. From my experience. And this is like a goal of mine throughout the game. Obviously, you land, you get your initial loot, you get the weapons you want to play with, get the medallions, those are very nice, but also getting to A tier or S tier as fast as I can. That way I can open up those crates and get the mythic base boost gloves, I think is really helpful. Having those 4 uses gives you an advantage on everyone else who's using gloves for mobility, because you have an extra one if they don't have mythics. And when dealing with the storm beast, having those mythic gloves are really going to help you out. This player is likely to have a mobility advantage on anybody they run into anyways, because they have the Batman grappler. They're going to drop the surf cube here, I think, for it. No, okay, that's actually very surprising to me. I think the base boost gloves are a much better mobility item than the surf cube. They might just be doing this because it's a new or what. But I'm surprised they're like looting for crates to not take the gloves. If island has been taken yet. Also, since this player defeated the boss, they were able to get to S tier like very, very quickly. Island hasn't been taken, surprisingly. I like having this core medallion. I like having both medallions this season, but I think the core one is the better one. Like the invisible sprint jump is really, really helpful in shotgun fights. And oftentimes shotgun fights are the deciding fight in the game. Oh, they chose to take the purple outlaw. I didn't realize that. I definitely preferred the sentinel pump to the outlaw, but the outlaw is very good. With the buff they made to it this season, it's definitely a viable choice. I like this. So he gets up to... Oh, he gets the kill. I was gonna say, he gets up to island and he immediately focuses on dealing with other players in the area and not necessarily the boss. The boss is not going anywhere. She's gonna stay there. If somebody kills her and takes the medallion, that's one thing. But the players on island are a significantly more imminent threat to deal with than the boss. One thing they could do, since they're using the outlaw, is run the revolvers. I think if you really like both the revolvers and the outlaw, they combo very well because of the boon that's in the game that allows you to reload your weapons based on parkour usage. So at S tier, that medallion, I think that boon, sorry, fully reloads the weapon you have equipped, and then will also partially reload weapons you don't have equipped. And that combo is incredibly good with the revolver because, one, the mag size of the revolver is like a key concern. And the revolver kind of jump counts as parkour, which is something you're going to be doing with it naturally anyways. And then you can also use that to reload the outlaw. The outlaw's kind of main downside is you know, the fact that it only has 2 shots. So if you end up shooting both shots and don't get the kill, you can swap your revolvers, do a jump, and then your outlaw will have an extra shot in it, provided you have that boon and you are S tier. And this player is obviously S tier. That boon is also guaranteed, I believe, from putting the dash sprite into the shrine. And so if you do really want to play for that playstyle, putting one of the dash sprites into a shrine is definitely a good play. There's another crown player still in this lobby. I think there's a few. So now this player, I feel like, really doesn't have much to go for. They have both medallions. They have the grappler. They have the mythic weapons. They're just kind of chilling, driving around, looking for fights to get in and looking for players to clean up. This is like a really good situation to be in. Also, the core medallion previously had a bug with it where it would kind of bug your sprint regen. That has been fixed. So if you were worried about that downside when it came to using the core medallion, that has been resolved. Unfortunate damage out of the outlaw. Gotta reload. There's somebody else on him. And this is where the outlaw is really problematic. So the first fight he gets in doesn't really hit either of those shots that well because of the range. And so that isn't really a fight that can continue. They get third partied. Luckily, they do get the second shot off, or they get to reload beforehand. But for this fight dealing with the third party, the outlaw shots didn't really go their way. Luckily, they had the car that they could get in and then kind of reset the fight that way and reload their weapon. If the bounty hunter that was driving the car made a more like active decision to like make that fight happen and didn't let the player we're spectating just reload, things could have gone south. Or if the car wasn't there, like they could have just got griefed by the outlaw. He got enough damage there that he's just going to push this with that grappler 100% and gets the kill there. Nice. And so while it didn't cost them there, you see how the outlaw could have. They're going to go for the sentinel pump now that they have the exotic version, which I think is a good choice. I think both shotguns are good, as I was saying, but that like, I don't know if inconsistency would be the right word. It might just be the unforgivingness of the weapon. Just things can go really bad with the outlaw shotgun, and when they go bad, it's probably going to go really bad because you're very close. But luckily, the car this player was using is what saved them there. I think if that fight just like had to happen and there was no out, that bounty hunter might have gotten the kill. But you saw the damage on it was crazy though when he got it loaded and was able to like shoot through the car on him. Like the damage is insane, but when it doesn't go well, that could just be the end of your game. Still 9 opponents remaining. An interesting zone. It's like just really center map, so there's not really anything specific to worry about. I guess island maybe, but like I would probably be doing the same thing this player is doing now, where you're just driving around looking for kills, especially as I said, like they have everything they could possibly want in this game, especially now having the exotic pump. Which actually, the slow effect of the exotic pump will affect people using the Storm Beast. With the amount of mobility this person has, he's not going to have any difficulty at all dealing with the Storm Beast, but that just little bit can make it even better, or a bit even easier. Guy's going up the mountain. Get shots on him there. He's just going to key this because he has damage already on them. Decent play from the John Wick to try to knock the car back. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work enough to fully reset the fight. But if he had like fully knocked it back and the person we're watching didn't get out, then that might have been enough time for the John Wick to like reset and heal a bit. It does somewhat work, but that grappler is very good chasing mobility. He's going to try to get in the car. And if he doesn't get in the car, he's going to shoot it. Because he has it weak enough and the Spire AR's mag is so large that he could just blow this car up and he still has ammo to shoot. GG's. Not much that John Wick could do there. Like I feel like the John Wick did what he could to try to reset the fight, but it just wasn't enough. Mainly because of the insane amount of mobility this player has. And that's like why at times you can't just run. Like you need to like sometimes get shots on people chasing you, even if you are weak. Like it's risky to fight. Like you don't need a full fight, but like sometimes just getting shots on people chasing you will be enough for you to be able to reset. I guarantee you he was reading chat there. As someone who streams this game every day, like, I know. 5 opponents remain. Supposed to drop heals for the scanner, which is fine, I guess. Like, personally, I like carrying heals. He does have the medallion to regenerate his shield, and at this point in the game, he probably feels like he's eliminated most of the decent players, so he just wants the scanner. He has enough mobility that even if things do go south, he should be able to, like, reset and at least get the 50 shield back from his medallion. And one of the really nice things about the scanner when it comes to endgame like this and finding players is not only can you scan the area to mark people, but the footsteps you can see on the map, I think, is really, really beneficial for finding people. And at this point in the game, sometimes that's all it comes down to. Not only in terms of just like the final players being AI, but like timing and knowing where people are and like being aware of where everybody is very crucial in endgame. Like, it's twofold. If it's just bots left and he's gonna mop them up, like seeing those footsteps help, but also if it's a very like assuming everybody is very good, just having intel on where people are can help you avoid bad timing or avoid, like, you know, third-party situations. Like, he sees these footsteps up here. If he didn't have the scanner and see those, he might not have known this person was here. May or may not matter, but you'd rather know, right? Doesn't really get enough damage to do anything. Or like shoot that person out of the air for free. This could be a kill though, especially if they rift high and he beams them out of the air. Unfortunate. I don't think it'll be a kill now, but like that very well may have just like been the end of that player. Like sometimes you hit the shot, sometimes you don't. Rifting like that when you're kind of weak can be risky at times. People fighting on this hill. Just continuing trying to clean up the player that he had shot earlier. But basically at this point, all he has to do is not lose. And he will win. Which sounds dumb, but like just everything is in his control. This player's on like the constant back foot being harassed. Their mobility is probably on cooldown. Or maybe not. I was going to say, I thought their mobility was on cooldown because they were like shooting the car with the base boost gloves. This is where I would rather have the gloves in the surf cube. Like, I don't know. I think the surf cube is fine, but I would much rather have the grappler and the gloves. Maybe even shockwaves. I was not the biggest fan of airbending either. Especially because I like using cars. We already saw how useful cars can be this game when it kind of saved his life. I feel like the surf cube gives you similar mobility to what a car gives you without like the other benefits of what a car gives you. Like, this player came here to buy heals and reset. Unfortunately, he's just not hitting shots. But if he hits any of those shots, then, like, this player, I think, just gets melted. Like, I don't think they're full HP. Unfortunately, the bubble doesn't... This is bad. He tries to grapple into the bubble, and the enemy player kind of body blocked him. And then made things awkward. I think he wanted to land in the bubble and then just shoot right away. That player's going to go down and get heals again, I think. But the person we're spectating also wants to get heals. We're going to have like a weird game of cat and mouse on like who greeds more for the heals. Somebody else over there, I think. Oh no, it's behind him. What the heck? This is an AI. Which this could be good if he's not already S+, but I would imagine he's already S+. But if he hadn't gotten S+ yet and ranked up off that, then getting like the passive siphon would have been nice. This is the end of the game for that player though, I think. Yeah. It got close. Like, that awkward bubble fight very easily could have been the end of the game, especially if he stayed there and fought it. If he just, like, stayed in that awkward scenario and was fighting to the death, I think that they might have won it, they might have lost it. But the fact that they just reset with the grappler and played more for, you know, later on, I think was a good thing. They also didn't greed too much for heals. Like, they wanted the heals from the vending machine, but they were playing more for the kill, which is what I was going to say about, like, when I was saying it was like a cat and mouse game for the vending machine. The player who plays more for the vending is probably going to lose. Because the other one's going to get timing on them and get the shot and then close it. 2 players remaining. This is one of them. Look at how much easier that is to deal with than the person he was, like, shooting that was using the base boost gloves. They have misform, but it's going to run out soon and he can get shot. He's going to drop down to the point where he... Oh, okay. I thought he was going to land in that crevice. So I was going to say he'll be somewhat protected unless he dies out of the air. And if you are fighting somebody that's using the mist form like that you have incredibly weak and you're not dealing with other pressure, you can't damage them while they're in it, but just like tracking them and then, you know, frying them as soon as they get out of it is usually a free kill. Like, it allows people time, but I feel like it doesn't really help people get away most of the time. Unless it's like a very, very chaotic situation. And GG's. That is the revolvers. When it hits, it hits. That enemy, like, pulled up to his spot as he was down there. One luckily gets away with mobility again. I think he looked back there to maybe get shots on the person if they were over chasing. And now I would imagine he wants to go get heals, but it's in Storm, so I don't really know what he's going to do. I think he still will win this fight, though. The enemy just got very lucky timing and got a lot of damage off the revolvers. But the fact that they didn't get the kill off that lucky timing, I think will result in the person that we're spectating just ending up getting the win anyways. I think if this Bruno Mars was a bit better, like, they would have been pressuring the damage they got. And then the person we're spectating wouldn't have had as easy of a time regaining. That Bruno Mars had only Surf Cube as mobility. I think if they had base boost gloves or shockwaves, they could have chased better and then maybe capitalized on the damage they got and won the game. But because they just kind of got that damage and did nothing with it, the Squid Game player was able to win the game. But they obviously played very good, and that is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.